Welcome everybody to episode 1 of a brand new show brought to you by Let Me Get That Potograph and the DH Sports Cards. Kind of our first spin-off in the entertainment side that I told you guys we would be doing around the 100th episode. This is when I announced this show. And if you are unfamiliar with it, Heart of the Hobby, what this is all about is, let's face it, you guys hear all the time, negativity is abound in the sports card world like every second of the day. It's all posts are, it seems, is negativity. Well, that's what this show is the entire opposite of that. What we're focusing on is you guys and your collections, and more specifically, the stories behind those collections. Because, I mean, that's what, to me, that's one of the coolest things when I'm interviewing somebody like I'm about to do. To hear the stories behind how they got these cards is half the fun to me. It's more fun than knowing that they have the card. And so I'm looking forward to doing this show. Obviously, with COVID and everything, it's making this a little different, as the plan is to be in person as much as possible. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first guest for episode number 1, I should say. Someone I've wanted to finally be able to have on the show for a long time. We're going to do it with episode 1 of a new show, but he is the owner of Top Notch Sports Breaks, Anthony Loparo. What's up,
What's going on, Drew? What's going on, man? Long time coming, finally here.
I know, man. I think since the first national one we met, I think we've been trying to set this up, but you know, it's busy times for all of us, and that's a good thing. You know, the hobby's thriving. That's one thing we can definitely agree on, is 100%. That the hobby's 100%. Definitely thriving. And there's some stories that we'll be getting into later that'll shine a light on that. But welcome to the show, first of all. And first off, just tell everybody a little bit about Top Notch Sports Breaks and what you do.
All right. So, God, I've been breaking for a long time. You probably don't even know this. I mean, you might. I got started back in 2007 when I was 17. Yeah. So I was one of the first. Well, not one of the first. I think Chris Justice was one of the first. But shortly after that, there's a big group of us that were breaking on YouTube back in the day. And I started out opening up. I still remember it was a case of Bowman Chrome or Bowman Draft or something of that nature. And I would actually take a digital camera and record one box at a time. And that was just a personal case I did when I was 17. Right. And then that led into doing single box breaks with through the mail payments. And it was like a 2-week process for like a $90, $80, $70 box.
Wow.
And I did that for a few years and got out of the hobby for a while, had my first kid, and something got me back into it. I don't know what it was, but that's what led me into breaking again. And let me
ask real fast: was the kid a boy or a girl?
Girl.
It's a girl. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got back in the end of 2015. And it just from that day forward, it's just I feel like I don't sleep. It's just nonstop, literally nonstop.
Yep.
Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. But that's where now with Top Notch, it's grown so much. Obviously, you know, with everything going on in the hobby right now, it's record breaking numbers all over the place. It's just it's a great time to be in on the hobby. It's unreal. So it's crazy. And
yeah. It is, and you guys have done a good job over there at Top Notch. I mean, I do remember when you guys first started. I'd known you before, you know, Top Notch really became like a big thing, and so I've gotten a chance to watch it grow. And you know, there's a reason it's grown tremendously, and it's because you run a very good shop up there. But with all that having said, you know, you said obviously you were in the hobby. I'm guessing you were in the hobby as a kid also, and then you took a little time off, like you said, for a kid. Now you're back as an adult. What's as this is the focus of the show, what's your main collection? What's your PC? Has it evolved over the years? What's your PC?
So let me just put this out here, and a lot of people could probably relate to this.
Sure.
At first, I didn't have a PC. Getting back into the hobby, you know, my main thing was everybody likes to open product. Everybody. There's not one person that doesn't like to open product. And when I first got started, I mean, I literally started with no money. Literally started with a $500 credit card purchase and got to where I'm at today. And I'll show you guys here, you know, what I've built up over the last literally 6 months. And for the first couple of years of running this business, I more or less put all the money into the business and never spent a dime on myself. And then I really went full force with trout. And obviously, I don't really have any trouts left because of what the market is today. But I converted it into other things like Lebron, which is, you know, my main PC.
Yes.
And then I got into something else, which I'll go over that in a second. But my main focus right now, after building the business and getting on my feet, was what could I invest in that I love, and what could I invest in that has a chance at growing even greater. And obviously, I chose LeBron. So if you've seen the market over the last 3-4 months, it's absolutely crazy. And obviously, PC is, you know, near and dear to my heart. But at the same time, it's almost to the point where you get to the point where, what do you want to do next? And that's
right.
Kind of where I'm in question, and I don't know what to do. But right now, I'm just enjoying the PC I have, because it's to the point where it's almost not affordable to get the cards I have now, because you can't find them and they're not affordable. Yeah. So, but LeBron right now is obviously my main PC.
Awesome. Yeah. You know, before we go into those, because I know we're about to see some absolutely beautiful stuff. That's why I was excited to have you on episode 1. You know, I always look at a PC, like you said, you mentioned, you know, what's next, you know, what am I doing next? I've always looked at a PC as ever evolving. You know, you might have that one team that you always collect, but the way that you collect it may change. You know, what you collected that team may change. When you were a kid, you know, starting out, you know, collecting, like before this was also a business for you, you know, what was your collection growing up? You know, what were those, you know,
my main collection as a kid was Kirby Puckett.
Nice.
So I'm a big Twins fan, even though I'm in Cleveland, like the Cleveland, Ohio area. I've always, for some reason, my dad, he used to own a little convenience store back in the day, and he used to sell cards out of it. And that's what got me into cards back in the day. And I don't know what card was pulled. I don't remember. Obviously, I was way too young. But something drew me on the Kirby Puckett, and I had like one of the biggest Kirby Puckett collections ever. And then that's what started it. That was the addiction. Right. Kirby Puckett back in the day was it for me.
I think that a lot of people can relate to that one as well. But we're going to jump back to the modern aspect of things, because your collection, I followed it. Like I said, we've known each other for a while, and I have followed your collection as it has moved from Trout to LeBron. I mean, there were Jordans at times, you know. I guess there's a story I want to get to, but first, I guess we'll start out with, what's the one card right now, the crown jewel of the PC? We'll start out with your crown jewel of your PC.
All right, so are you asking value-wise, or are you asking like
favorite? For you.
Here, I'll show it to you because I have it right here. And there's a little backstory behind it. There's a story behind this card. It's the LeBron SPX rookie. So there's a little story behind this. I bought a few boxes of SPX to put away, and then, you know, my group is crazy. We like to do crazy things at times. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've heard stories about it. And I lined a box of SPX basketball, and I didn't want to open it, but I'm like, you know what? This could bring a little bit of excitement to the group. It brings back memories. So we did a random pack break, and if I remember correctly, it was like $70 a spot. And one of my customers actually was fortunate enough to pull this for $70. And obviously, with me opening it and seeing it, I'm like, I have to have it.
Yes.
So when I pulled it, I immediately messaged him while I was live. I'm like, you got to give me first dibs on this. This is the prized possession I want to have in my collection.
Yeah.
So this is it right here. It's not the most expensive card. It is expensive right now, but this is the one I had to have for sentimental reasons, because I pulled it myself. So
right. Absolutely, it's a beautiful card.
So I sent it in 2 days later. Did 1-day grading, came back as a 9.5/10. So.
That's even better. I mean, that right there is even better. But yeah, absolutely stunning card. So you know that's what I love. You know, it's the card that you wanted, that you chase after. It's not the most expensive in the collection, which you know a lot of people they think of it. Yeah, it is. But so you mentioned LeBron. We'll start with LeBron. What are some of show us some of your nicest LeBron, some of your favorite LeBrons. Let's see some of these beauties that you have, and any stories behind them.
There's stories behind the cover.
Oh yes, and we're gonna focus on one of them.
Yeah, right. So, man, there's so many here, but I'll just pull out a few of them. These were kind of a cool pair to pull up. I bought them at 2 different times. I wanted to have them as a pair. So this is like one of my favorites, especially with the whole Jordan thing going on, and now with the whole Kobe thing going on, and now with the start of the season. These two are it's one of my favorites. Those are a couple dual autographs. This one I actually recently picked up. This one's actually probably one of the hardest ones to find besides exquisite. One of my buddies locally, he actually has one of these, and he got me kind of on the LeBron train again. And when I saw this on eBay one night, this is the 0304. Wow. This is the 0304 gold number to 99. This is, there's only one on eBay right now, and honestly, this is the only one I've seen in the last 2 years. And I saw him listed on eBay as an auction, and somehow I got a hold of him one night, late one night, and he messaged me back telling me this is what I take for it off eBay. He found my website, emailed me, and made a deal off of eBay for this. And
that's a phenomenal card, man. I know the history behind that card. Honestly, it being numbered to 199.
No, this one's the one number to 99. This is
the 199. Okay,
right.
I would bet that 50 of them didn't make the market. Honestly, like as rare as this is, or someone's hoarding 50. I mean, that's a rare one right there.
So that's probably like the craziest card I have.
Yeah.
And honestly, the story behind that of finding it one night and the guy actually emailing me from the website is just
It's what's awesome. It's what's awesome about this digital age. People complain about like Facebook groups and all this and whatever. It allows people, and that's what I hope this show also brings. Like if someone has a LeBron that they're moving, that they think you might be interested in, they know who to contact. Like that's the beauty about this the digital age we're in.
I 100% agree. A couple more to go. I mean, like a MVP gold 100.
Nice.
You don't really see those at all.
No.
And then a Jordan LeBron duel. I had to pick that up not too long ago. Just stuff you don't see every day. And then this is another tandem I traded for not too long ago. Tandem.
Beautiful. In those SGC holders, those are beautiful.
You know what? I actually grown to like them. They're actually really, really nice.
Especially when you put a set together. They look great together. They look great together.
And then there's this one before I get to the crazy one. There's a couple. I mean, there's these ones you don't see very often. They're numbered to 375 out of tradition. And then obviously this one is a pristine BGS 10, number to 100 bronze.
Whew.
So, I mean, honestly, I have a whole briefcase here. I'm not going to go over all of them.
Right. No. Yeah. Of course.
But then there's the one of the most popular cards, and there's a little backstory behind purchasing this card. I actually bought it one night, and I had a little bit too much to drink, and I pulled the trigger on one of the websites, but it's the black. I know it's only a PSA 8, but it's the black refractor LeBron.
It's a black LeBron. Come on.
Right. So so people were not laughing, but kind of like, dude, you really spent $12,000 on that. And it's one of those, like, this is like a prized possession that every main LeBron collection, this is what people have. And I mean, if you look on eBay, there's 3 on there right now. One of them's raw and there's 2 graded ones, but this is like the iconic card that people just love.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I had this for a little bit, and then that's where the crazy story comes into play. I jokingly said on one of the groups, anybody have a Corvette for trade? And I was joking, And then someone goes, so-and-so has a Corvette, you know, he might want to trade he might trade. So, you know, I got a response back like 10 minutes later, and he goes, hey, you looking for a Corvette? And I'm like, and I knew who the guy was. Like, I didn't talk to him all the time, but I knew he was another breaker. And he goes, hey, I'd be interested in trading possibly. And I'm like, really? Like, I never heard of the thing, you know?
No.
So the little story that went on with it, you know, it went back and forth for about 3-4 weeks. And we finally came to an agreement on a deal. And the trade was this black LeBron, an 86, 87 Fleer, complete set. And I even built, well, I got the set already completed in a deal a year prior to that. But then I built the sticker set myself, all BGS 9s.
Yes.
So I took that set that was just sitting in the corner for a while. I get real impatient with things, and a lot of people are going to laugh when they see this video. I get impatient with stuff, and I like to move stuff around. But this thing was sitting there for like a year, and I'm like, you know what?
Time to go.
It's a great set. It's iconic. It will always be iconic. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm going to try to trade this thing. So I traded the set. I traded this card, and I traded like a Trout Sterling autograph. And I said, we finally made it a deal, and I overnighted the stuff to California, and I set up to have the car picked up, and we got some vouchers. Obviously, we were both very well known in the community, and he got the cards. He sent over the title, sent over the keys, and then the car arrived a week later, and
I got it up on the screen right now, man. I remember waking up this day. And obviously we're friends on Facebook, and I'm sitting here probably listening to Jude go crazy in the morning, as most 5-year-olds do. And I'm scrolling through my feed, and I look down, and I'm like, whoa, Anthony, you got a nice car. And then I look into the details. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. He traded sports cards for this? And then I remember you had the set. And then I remember that set. And one of the coolest stories I have ever, like, just absolutely amazing. Like, just to be able to trading cards for a car is just something, and not a car. It's not like an everyday card. Look at this thing, guys. I mean, the thing is a thing of beauty. It was one of the most unique things I'd ever seen in my life. But the funny thing is, or at least I see there, is that black refractor is in your hand.
Yeah, so the day that he received it, he sent me a picture and he goes, hey, I got the card. I overnighted it to him. And the car was already in my possession, and he got the card, and I go, dude, you have to trade that thing back to me. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, I just got it. I go, I need that card back. Like, I just bought that, you know, LeBron's a hometown guy here. I had season tickets for a while. That's
a black refractor of the most iconic card of the era. Like,
right.
I mean,
so he's like, all right, well, you know, I'm always willing to deal anything. He goes, so what will you give up? And honestly, I probably overpaid to get it back, but to look at what they're going for now, it made sense, you know, to get it back. But so we made a deal. I overnighted him a stack of like Giannis's and some other cards, and he sent it back to me, and I'm like, This is like the grail of the collection. I love this card.
Oh, how could you not? If you could hold it up just for the camera again so everyone can see that beautiful black refractor. I mean, that is, like I said, one of the most iconic cards in the world. So, I mean, this is what I love about it. We're talking about a trade that you were able to make from stuff that you had accumulated, which, as you said, you started with very little and built your way up.
Right.
You were able to build up to accumulate enough to trade for this, which is now being shown, this gorgeous card, and then be able to go right back and get the card right back. It's just an amazing story, and one I've never heard in the hobby. I think it's phenomenal. I loved it. Like I said, I knew the other party involved as well. Excellent member of the community, you know. I love when I see stuff like this happen.
And you know, a lot of people on that post that you actually showed, a lot of people were like, why would you trade a car or something that'll go up in value for something that'll go down in value? And that was like the big thing. And I'm like, you know what? A lot of people have a lot of good cards. A lot of people have another hobby other than the card, you know, the sports cards. You know, my thing is like, these things, this stuff has been sitting. I've had so much stuff over the years. I want to actually physically enjoy something, and the car, knowing that it'll depreciate and the cards will go up, which that set like 2 weeks later exploded because of the whole show. And I'm like, it is what it is. I got something that I can enjoy. My fiance enjoys it. The kids can't really drive in it, but they enjoy it. It's like, and it goes with my other Corvette that I have. And it's like, I'd rather enjoy it. Like, I can get cards any day of the week. I'm not going to go shell out money for a car. If I could trade for it, I'm going to enjoy it. I've worked really, 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 really hard to be in the position I'm at. Like, I'm going to enjoy it, and that's kind of the way I feel about it.
Well, and I think that's a novel approach. I commend you for that. And you're right. You have worked hard, and you do deserve to enjoy it 100%. So beyond LeBron, you mentioned that you're collecting LeBron. I know before you were collecting a lot of Trouts and stuff. Is there anything else that you are currently collecting? Is there anything that you've been, stocking up on?
There's two things. And I'm going to show the one real quick. And it was I've always wanted to own this card. I'm not selling it right now. Eventually down the road, obviously, if, my kids need something, I'd rather just shell a card out and get them whatever. Right. But this is like one of the holy grail. Other than LeBron, I'll put the LeBron stuff aside. But this is like my favorite card. And I just acquired it like maybe 2 months ago. Okay. But it's a 33 Gaudi, a 33 Gaudi Ruth PSA 4. And it's just like, this is like, honestly, this is my favorite more than most of my cards. Yeah. So this, I don't really, I wouldn't say I collect Ruth because this is the only Ruth I have, but when I saw it, I had to just have it.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of 33s, and they're absolutely beautiful. I don't have a Ruth, can't afford the Ruths yet, not at that level yet, but just absolutely gorgeous cards.
So other than that, I'll be honest with you. The only thing that I started collecting, and it's going to sound crazy, but the only thing I just got into it a month ago, and I kind of went really hard on it, and I'm glad I did, was the original 1999 Pokemon stuff.
Nice.
So
very nice.
I've kind of went away with the LeBrons because they've gotten to the point where they're not affordable.
Right.
For the stuff I want. I mean, I like the older stuff. So what I started doing was I kind of went real deep into the Pokemon stuff. And that's another thing, because when I was 9 years old, when the stuff came out, we used to cut the grass to get a pack of Pokemon or a pack of, sports. Yeah. And that's what we did as kids. And this was one thing I'm like, you know what? This is something that can't die. This is something that if something were to happen in the economy or something were to happen in sports, or like a player breaks their leg or does something stupid, like,
the Charizard's coming back from the dead. Like,
nothing's gonna happen. And I'm like, you know what? It'll be cool. I'm gonna collect this stuff. I'm gonna buy up on it. I bought some original booster boxes from '99 sealed, some first edition stuff, old Blister sealed packs, and we actually just cracked a couple of those last night on my page just to have some fun. That's what this is all about.
Exactly.
But I want to have fun with it. Yeah. So that's why I started buying into the Pokemon stuff. This stuff is gonna go up again. It's one of those things where people like the whole nostalgia thing. They love what they did as a kid, and I think this is the next thing that's just gonna continue to go up. But other than that, just Pokemon and LeBron, and that's it, really.
Nice. Well, we've had quite a few people. It's funny you mentioned that on Hobby Hotline call in and talk about collecting Pokemon, and I've spoken with some people about it, and my son collects Pokemon, and so I actually sent off my first ever bulk submission that was nothing but my 5-year-old son's card. I mean, it's he got tired of waiting in the card aisle for dad to find cards, I think, so he forced himself into Pokemon, which is wonderful for me. But they definitely are growing in value as well, and are a big collectible. But like you mentioned, it's all about having fun,
right?
And that's what this is all about. That's what this hobby, this business, this whatever you guys want to label it at these days. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun. Right. So before I let you go, Anthony, what there are some people out there I know that have some major LeBrons that are some big time collectors, and they're always looking to move stuff. What are some cards, LeBron or not, that are on your wish list right now?
Well, obviously, I have enough trade power to trade for a big one, and that's what I've been trying to do for a while. But the problem with the whole LeBron thing is the people that have the very rare stuff, they put it away, and you'll never see it again. And that's the hardest part about collecting LeBron is they hoard them. Like if you find one on eBay, someone's gonna buy it, you'll never see it again, and that's the toughest part. But the card that obviously I would love to have, either a PSA 10 black, or obviously a gold, but I mean, I've one in a couple of years.
I know.
So those are big on the wish list. Honestly, other than that, maybe a cheaper and exquisite. But man, it's the time of being able to afford one of those. I missed that. I missed that one.
yeah, a couple Corvettes on those these days.
Right. But other than that, the only other thing I contemplated on maybe buying a box of exquisite just to put away. That was one of the things I started doing was, putting boxes away. I mean, I started hoarding a couple boxes of the Chrome.
Nice.
So I had to bought these out. I mean, I bought a couple of those to put away.
Nice.
And obviously some more SPX, but maybe trade and get an exquisite box or an ultimate collection box. That's really the only thing that's on my radar right now, I would say.
Totally understandable. Well, anyone out there watching, definitely make sure you hit him up. But Anthony, before I let you go, man, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, if they have any of those LeBrons, or if they'd like to join some of Top Notch Sports Breaks, because guys, they do. It's an incredible break room. Anthony's one of the top notch guys in the business. But tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me obviously on Facebook. You can find me. You just type in Anthony Loparo. You can find that. You'll find me right there. Or you can just go to Top Notch Sports Breaks on the Facebook page. Join the room. You don't have to join breaks. We have over 4,500 members. A lot of people just watch, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
I give away stuff all the time. I just gave away a bunch of stuff yesterday, even to people that don't join. We love to have fun with it. So you can find me on there, Facebook. That's really about it.
Absolutely. Instagram. Yep. Absolutely. Well, Anthony, I'm glad we were finally able to do this. Thanks for sharing the PC with us and being the guinea pig, so to speak, the sacrificial lamb for episode 1.
I appreciate being on episode 1. We broke the ice.
Absolutely, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, man.